what I want to do now is I want to do what's called Tzortא deshma'tetah, which means I'm going to take all the material that we studied until now, which was from Daf Mem Vav Amud Aleph till Daf Mem Zayin Amud Bet, on the bottom of Amud Bet. Everything was actually one sugya, right? So what I'm doing now is Tzortã deshma'tetah, which means I'm going to give you the structure of the sugya. That's all. I wrote it down here on this piece of paper, right? It's all neat. And this is a sugya kefula umchupelet. Let me explain to you what that means. What it means is that the sugya has two main parts. Pelek ikari aleph, that's what I call it in Hebrew, right? And then there's pelek ikari bet, right? Let me show you pelek ikari aleph. Let me explain to you. Pelek ikari aleph starts with hare'ah shenikav. And then let me take a step back. If you look at the Mishnah at the beginning of Perek Elu Terefot in Daf Mem Bet Amud, you can use mine. It might be easier because here's. If you look at it, it says hare'ah shenikava or shehasera, right? That's what it is, and that's our sugya. Our sugya is dealing with hare'ah shenikava or shehasera, two things. So Helek Ikari Aleph, the first main part, deals with re'ah shenikava. Helek Ikari Bet deals with re'ah shehasera, but it also deals with different colors in the re'ah. So re'ah shehasera or tzeva'im shonim. Right, so just to get the overall kind of map or structure, right? See, and the way I did it on this page is I just did it parallel to each other. So you have two main parts. And I told you, what is the first main part? Re'ah shenikava. What is the basic idea of the second main part? Re'ah shehasera plus tzeva'im.
Yeah.
Now, each main part, in turn, has two subparts. Okay? Let's go to the first subpart in Chelek Ikari Aleph deals with it starts with the very beginning of the sugya. Rav Ushmuel Berav Aseh de Amre Kalma Illa'a Ve'amre Ilaha Kalmatata'a. That's where it starts. And it ends with right before the word Gufaha. Zika de Bene Benehu. That's Tat Chelek Aleph, subpart A of main part A. Right? And then you're going to have a subpart 2 of main part A. Subpart 2 is going to be the Gufa, which has 7 statements of Rava.
Part of the first part?
Yeah. So again, because it's not just Sugya Kefula, it's Sugya Kefula Umchupelet. So each main part has 2 subparts, 1, 2. So the first subpart of part A deals with when you have a nekev in the kerum, in the layers around the re'ah. What's the law with that? The second subpart of part A is 7 ma'amarot, different laws related to re'ah shenikava. So far, so good? And you see parallel, Chelek Ikari Bet, main subpart B. You also have 2 subparts. You have Tat Chelek Aleph, which brings the statement of Rava related to the unot, and then it brings 3 things on that statement. It brings the story of Yeterata de'ata lekamed malemad. It brings the story of Bene de'ata lekamed Rabashe, and it brings the comment of Mor bar Avia. I'm sorry, I'm probably not saying no. Huna Mor bar Avia mechila. Huna Mor bar Avia, who corrects Rabashe on a point. So this right. So that's the first subpart of main part B. And you see it's parallel. I made it like parallel. I put it like, in the paper.
Yeah.
And then the second subpart of main part B deals with the issue of tzeva'im, which we didn't fully develop at all in the sugya. So we still need to develop the issue of tzeva'im. So how is it done? They first bring a statement of Rava related the hay ufta. Hay re'ah de damya le'ufta. Hay re'ah de damya le'ufta, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it brings. And it brings 3 things on that, on the question of tzeva'im. It brings Rav Ahai, it brings Rav Kahana, and it brings Rav Sama Bered de Rava. So the sugya is very simple. And you see the number 3 also repeats. Okay, so first of all, clear or is
I
one?
think two different parts.
Two
right?
main parts.
Two main parts. Each part has 3 different.
No, each main part has 2 subparts. Yeah, let's look at it in the Gemara. Let's read it in the Gemara. Main part A starts with Rav Ushmei Rav said Amrit Kalma Ila'a ve'Amrit Kalmatata'a, and it ends with the seventh statement of Rabbah, which was
2 different parts. You have the part.
Right, I'm giving you the full main part A, the entire main part A.
And each one of the 2 parts have 3 different parts to them.
Okay, so now subpart A, which starts with Rav Ushmei Rav said Amrit Kalma Ila'a, and
then it has 2 more.
And it ends with Gufaha. That's subpart. That has 3 subparts to it, correct? Or we can all call it sub parts, right? Yeah. Okay. But the Gufa is just 7 statements of Rabbah.
So no 2 subparts.
No. Gufa is 7 statements of Rabbah. Very simple. Gufa brings 7 statements of Rabbah.
Okay.
The second main part starts with Amar Rava. Where is it? Amar Rava Hamisha une'it laha lare'a kidna pachla. And here you have, so after the statement of Rava, you have 3 little parts. Let's call it, the first one is Yativ Ravacha Ababa. Amar lemay amar lach. I'm sorry, actually, Hahu yetereta de'ata leka demarema. Then you have Hahu bene bene de'ata leka medera bashe. And then you have Amar le Rabuna or Huna mor bar avia kolane bar yata kachi itlehu. Okay, and that's the end of this. So that's the end of this. All right. So again, let's just do this again since we got interrupted. It's all on this paper, as you can see. So this paper, the sugya starts with here. Rav Ushmuel ve'Ravaseh.
Good.
Right. The first subpart of part A finishes with Zika de Bene Bene. Right here. Right. Here's Rav Ushmuel ve'Ravaseh, and then you go over to the next Amud, Zika de Bene Bene. So this is the first subpart of part A. The second subpart of part A is Gufa and 7 statements of Rava. Very simple.
Okay.
Which finishes on Mem Zayin, Amud Aleph. Now let's go to subpart B. Subpart B starts with Amar Rava Hamisha une itla lare'a kidna pachla. Okay, which is followed by 3 related statements or 3 related incidents, and then and I'm sorry. So this is the first subpart of part B.
Okay.
And then the second subpart of part B is again a statement of Rabbah, Amar Rabbah, followed by 3 related statements. One of Rav Achai, the other of Rav Kahana, and the other of Rav Sima Beret Rabbah. That's it. So that's a sugya. Right? Very simple. Meaning I think it's very clear. I think it's very simple. It's very easy. That's what so you see how it's kefula u'mchupelet. It's double, and each main part itself is double.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
That's very and you see also what's important is not just the number. There's 2 and 2. It's to understand the function.
What do you mean?
You have part A. The main part A deals with the Asher Nikah. Main part B deals with the Asher Hasera and also Tsevaim, because we still didn't finish the issue of Tsevaim.
And the reason you're counting it as 1 is because it's all on Re'ah Shenikava.
The reason I'm counting what as 1, I'm sorry.
Re'ah Shenikava and Re'ah Hasera.
Yeah, in the Mishnah, it was that's the way it was brought in the Mishnah. Re'ah Shenikava or Shehasera. So it makes sense that kind of the sugya is structured kind of like the Mishnah. The Mishnah presented 2 things in the Re'ah. So the first sugya dealing with the topic is Kefula. One ki'ilu Re'ah Shenikava, the other is Re'ah Hasera. Although the truth, the second subpart of main part B is dealing with Tsevaim. It's really, Tsevaim is more under the Ashenikava, but it's related.
Tsevaim was in like the In the first part of the first.
They brought it in the
No, the second part
Gufa.
of the first.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and they never elaborated, they never explained it well.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the sugya. So it's now they have this sugya structurally. The next class we can do some ayun on some of the points of the sugya, but I just wanted to do this Surata Dishma'teta, just to get this thing. And now you can use this,
Okay.
and maybe we study the sugya be'al peh. I think it'll be a nice thing to study, right? Because when you study be'al peh, you really know it well.
Yeah.
So maybe let's try to study be'al peh. And now the next time we sit down, hopefully tomorrow, we'll do some ayun in the first sugya just to make some of the points. The names of the Chachamim, I still want to refine some of the names of the Chachamim.
Yeah, you're not sure, like.
Only one of the names. I have two problems. Okay, who is Rav Acha? And I finally figured out who Rav Acha is. But the second problem is, why was it brought in the order that it was brought? And we'll study this tomorrow. That's also another important issue. Actually, let me tell you, as long as we run out. Okay. Yeah, let's open up Mem Zayin, Amud. Mem Zayin, Amud Bet. Okay. Mem Zayin, Amud Bet. Amar Rabba. Yeah, okay, sure. Amar Rabba. I'm sorry, no, I did the wrong one. Where it says Amar Rafram, it should be Amar Rabba. Now, just so you understand, and this is important. So now we're doing subpart 2 of main part B. Right? This is the main part B, and this is subpart 2. Now, in the Gufa, in the 7 statements of Rabbah, we brought a statement about color.
Yeah.
Patches. Okame, black. Chezvata, different colors. Chezvata doesn't mean a specific color, it means colors. Keshera. We begin this subpart, with bringing another statement of Rava, which seems to touch upon the question of color. Because it's Amar Rava. And one of the Ikade Amres is the Chezvata, in the color. So that's how we introduce this subpart. We introduce this subpart by bringing this statement of Rava, which also seems to indicate or to discuss, or rather to be touching upon the question of colors. So let's read the statement. And once we have the 2 statements of Rava that touch upon color, we're going to analyze colors. You understand?
Yeah.
Right? We're not just, we want to be organized. We brought the previous statement of Rava in the Gufa. Now we have the statement of Rava, which has to do with the ufta. So, Amar Rava.
Amar Rava, hay re'ad damya le'ufta.
There's 4 different explanations. What does it mean, damya le'ufta? Ikade amre. I'm sorry, dinfiha ki ufta.
Dinfiha ki ufta.
Loaded.
Yeah.
One of the meanings. Ikade or ve'ikade amre.
Ve'ikade amre
Hezvata de ufta.
De ufta.
Hezvata means the color of the ufta. So now, it's not like here in the Gufa, we just says hezvata. It doesn't specify color. Here, he's specifying, or at least according to the one of the Ikade Amre's color of ufta. That'd be like a darkish, not dark green, what we call dark green, but like a medium green kazeh, right? Right? The lulav. Or it's a lightish
more light,
green.
no?
Yeah, okay, you're right. A lightish green. You're right. You're right. The Ikade Amre.
Begishata de ufta.
Right. Gishata de ufta. On the smoothness. Like it, right? Right. The Ikade Amre. Deshia ke ufta. Okay, well, it's not clear what it means. Gishata de ufta. Rambam doesn't bring anything about Gishata de ufta. So maybe Rambam only had 3 Ikade Amres. Because the next one is Ikade Amre Deshia ke ufta. Deshia, namely, what is Deshia de ufta? Delet la hitucha de une. It has the unot, but they're all like closed. Almost like a lulav. You know how the lulav is a beautiful analogy, because the lulav, the leaves are closed, they're all together. And then they open. So here, the unot, they stayed closed, they never opened. So that's the question, right?
Like interpretations for what Rava meant when he said
apparently different Talmidim recorded a different memory of what Rava meant when he said right? There was one tradition that said and just following Harambam, the 3 Ikade Amres of Harambam, namely Re'a Nefucha. That's one of the Ika de Amres, right? What was it? The other one was the color, right? The color of the thing. And the final one was Delet Lachitucha de Shia, Delet La Shia Ki Ufta, Delet Lachitucha de Oner. Harambam doesn't bring anything about which one was it? Begishata. And I don't even know what it means. What's the difference between the Shia Begish? Okay, no problem. I'm not trying to be critical of this, but I'm pointing out Harambam doesn't bring it. So more simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the beginning. Now we introduce the topic.
But the Shia, the lulav that's closed.
It's smooth. You know, have a lulav when it's when you have a wide lulav from the guy, it's smooth. You can really run your hands up it because it's all the leaves are close together, right?
What does the other one maybe mean? The one that Bob didn't bring
is so that the texture, Begishata de'ufta means the texture, how it feels, and mishmush. But it seems very similar to say the Shia and Kishata.
The Shia
is smooth.
Smooth because it's closed.
Yeah. So, again, it's hard to say that it's a different thing.
You know, like the bottom of a palm branch?
Yeah.
It's more smooth than a
of course.
Because there's no...
Yeah, exactly.
No,
so what's it different
than a closed lulav? Because it's there's no like texture, there's no up and down.
Okay.
You could go both ways. On a closed lulav, you could only go one way. Down.
True.
Like, whatever.
True.
I don't know if it's so like detailed, but...
Okay. But the Rif does bring Begishata de'ufta. So I'm not, okay. All right, so that's a statement. So the statement, so again, also a subpart A of part 2 also started with the statement of Rava. Remember? It started with, and then it had the comments on that. So here we're starting with the statement of Rava, and this brings us back to the question of color. Because one of the Ika de Amres was Kehezvata. Okay. So now we're going to open up the question of color. And we're going to have here Amar Rav Achai. I think it's Rav Achai. Hazar Tibi. Let me say to you, there's so many Rav Achas and so many different Rav Aviyah, like it's okay. Rav Hamidifti, or Midafteh. Okay. There's a Rav Acha from Eretz Yisrael, Biacha. Okay. This Rav Acha that we're bringing now, Amar Rav Acha. Kekochla keshera. I believe it's the same Rav Acha that was sitting outside Yativ Rav Acha Baba, outside the Yeshiva Maremar. So obviously this Rav Acha was a junior to Maremar. Obviously it wasn't a colleague. If it was a colleague.
Is there a reason you think that, or just like it makes
sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, okay.
If he was a colleague, Maremar wouldn't have the poor guy sitting outside. Obviously this is a young Talmid. He has anava. And he's like, the Chacham is not inviting him into the house, to be, this. Doesn't know him yet. He doesn't know what he is. Not just invite him. So he's sitting outside with anava, and then he's speaking to the people. Tell me what he tells. He wants to learn. He wants to learn. So this Rav Acha, I believe, is Rav Achai. Rav Achai was 8th generation of Emoraim, 1st generation of Sevoraim. He was a junior member of the yeshiva of Rabbeinu and Rav Asher. Right? And that fits perfectly. Maremar, Ravina, and Rav Asher, they were all like the last generation of Emoraim, one generation before.
The kesher between them.
Yeah, they were all in the same time. Although Rav Achai was junior. The Rav Achai I'm talking about is junior, and that fits in with Yativ, Rav Achai. And I would say it's about, I'm going to just, sometimes you pronounce it Rav Achai, sometimes Rav Achai. I'm going to pronounce it Rav Achai. Why? Not because it's better, but it's easier. There's so many Rav Achas.
Consistent, you think?
No, because there's so many Rav Achas. I just, so I'll call the Rav Acha, who's actually 1st generation Sevorim, I'll refer to him as Rav Achai. And then it's easier to remember. So Rav Achai, okay? Wow. Right, Shia that had both pronunciations. Yeah, Rav Acha, Rav Achai, they're fine. So I'll be to Rav Achai, so to separate him from the other Rav Achas, so we don't, right. So he was obviously this Rav Achai. He was a junior to Maremar. He's sitting outside the yeshiva, and Maremar doesn't even address him as a chacham. He says, "Tell the person sitting outside." So obviously he was very young. The person sitting outside was very young, but he was trying to learn. So Maremar is respecting him by giving him a message. You could have ignored him also, but he's not ignoring him. But he's still young, so it's obviously this is the Rav Achai. That's who it is, and it makes sense to me that the same Rav Achai is now. He was studying the question of the re'ot, and he wanted to understand it. and now he makes a comment on the statement of Rava. So when Rava said in the Gufa, okame, on this, Amar Rav Achai.
Not Amar Rav Achai.
Yeah, right, you look at the Kitvei, you look at the Reef, it's Rav Achai. Yeah. How can Amar Rava be commenting on his own thing? He would have said Hanemile or something. Amar Rava, Amar Rava, whatever. You just told us before. Okame is kasher, right?
Yeah.
Kashera, right? So it's only it's sloppy.
Oh yeah.
Amar Rava. So it's Amar Rava Hai.
Amar Rav Achai kakohala keshera kiziyuta terefa.
Right. I would say kekohla keshera kedayuta terefa. Okay. All right. So the black, that when Rava said black is kosher, he didn't mean dark black like the dayo. He meant kekohla, which is like a dark blue.
Navy maybe.
No, it was maybe navy blue. Okay, you're right. By the way, you're right. Navy blue is like a dark blue. Okay. And now he brings this proof. He brings a proof from דאמר רבי חנינא.
דאמר רבי חנינא, היי שחור אדום הוא, אלא שלקה.
So that's what happens. So obviously this re'ah, which you see black on it, we know from another place that black actually indicates dried up blood.
Okay.
And that's why in the case of Nidah, for example, she's temeah because it's really blood. So in the case of the re'ah, when you see the black, it's this must be blood. Okay. So he makes comment on black. He makes comment on green, and he makes comment on red. So let's see, Yeruka. Now he's going to comment on the green.
ירוקה כשרה מדרבי נתן, אדומה כשרה מדרבי נתן.
And right, Yeruka כשרה מדרבי נתן, אדומה כשרה מדרבי נתן. And that's a chizvata of, obviously he's addressing the statement of Rava. When Rava said colors are kosher, he meant green, and he meant red. And how did Rava know that green and red, he calls chizvata is kosher? Midei Rabbi Natan. Okay, so now he's going to bring that ayah. Let's read. The Tanya, Rabbi Natan Omer. Yeah.
I don't know if it's critical, but why are they not talking in Aramaic when they say aduma? I don't know if there's the word for yeruka, but is there like a reason or?
You're right. I don't. You're right. You could have said Aramaic, but it doesn't. Okay. In this case, in kekohla, right? Sometimes it could be that in Aramaic, that's how you said green, and then you go there. It's a good question.
I don't know why yeruka keshera midarabi, like it could have just been yeruka ve'aduma.
No. So he's making. No. He wants to separate it. Each one has its own analysis. Yeruka keshera midei Rabbi Natan. Aduma keshera midei Rabbi Natan. Separate analysis. And now you're going to bring two, but I told one for Yeruka, the other for Aduma.
דתניא רבי נתן אומר, פעם אחת הלכתי לקרחי הים, ובת אישה אחת לפניי, שמעלה בין הראשון ומת, שני ומת, שלישי ומת, רביעי הביא אותו לפניי, ראיתיו שהיה אדום, אמרתי לה,
שהוא אדום,
אמרתי לה, ביתי, המתיני לו, עד שיבלע בו דמו, המתינה לו ומלא אותו בחיה.
Right. No, right. I think with that יש בחיה. והיו קוראים אותו.
נתן הבבלי על שמי.
So that's a question of אדומה כשרה מדרבי רבי נתן. Right. So here we have a case of אדומה that the reason it was אדום wasn't because it was bleeding.
Okay.
If it was bleeding, it would have turned black.
Yeah.
Right? So no, it was because it wasn't absorbing the blood well, and we see that it healed, and then he was able to do Brit Milah, and he was able to live.
It's like too much circulation, I guess. Maybe.
And I'm not familiar, but something where it's not somehow absorbed. And anyway, okay. Okay. נתן הבבלי, ושוב פעם אחת. ושוב פעם
אחת, הלכתי למדינת קפוטקיה. באותה אישה אחת לפניי.
Here it's אחת because it's not the end of the pasuk. When it's like אחד, Hashem, אחד.
What do you mean it's not the end of the...
Meaning when it's if it's a house of pasuk, it's אחד. ושוב פעם אחת. But here, bata isha achat lefanai. So it's if it's in the middle of the pasuk, it's achat. So bata